with that guitar? We've got work to do.
Okay, good one, lads. Yeah, wait for somebody. There's an empty spot here. I'm sure you've seen the unfortunate son toggle switch for the Huey.
Hey, what are those loudspeakers doing on the ship? You bet we do. Today we have a Psy-War mission.
We like to play music really loud.
Psy-War.
Has a calming effect.
Psychological warfare, my friend. Let me start her up, and I'll explain on the way.
Oops. Okay, there we go. That's recentering the headset there. Okay. Let's see, power. Turning on. ESS. Check. Start. Normal on. Close cover. Alarm. Fuel. UFF. Radio. I feel like I'm missing something before I start up. Alright, well, let's do the radios, I guess. In theory, I'm probably supposed to ask Anderson. 1262.
UH-1, request startup.
Well, that didn't get changed. Nothing hurt. I guess I'll do it myself anyway. 2517. What is with that blue circle that keeps popping up? Only if I'm going out of line of sight to my base stations. Anderson, 38.6. Not that it has ever worked for me, but okay. And oh, that's annoying. So this radio, to increase the volume, increase the setting, you mouse wheel up. The one below, to increase the volume, you mouse wheel, or the setting, you mouse wheel down. Okay. Don't need the music quite yet. Radio. Start the rotors.
Clear!
I mean, again, this is really annoying that I've already shown the scenario demonstrated, you know, like a throttle. That I know how to do this, he says as he forgets the throttle. Okay. Listen, I mean, I don't know why I'm flying from the left seat. I know he said at the beginning that, yeah, the PIC flies from the left in Guam, I presume that in Vietnam as well, given how much information they take from it. It said they have better visibility. All I see is my visibility being taken up by this massive gun sight, and I am not seeing any improvement in terms of through the feet or whatever. Anyway, maybe there is something that I'm missing, I don't know. Oh, where am I going, by the way? 221. Yona, which seems to be due east of London, so I guess if we get lost, fly to London and home in on London and then turn 90. Okay, let's close that. Throttle up. Oh, altimeter. Kind of need that. There we go, now we're ready to go. Not that it helps, as you can see, but, you know, for atmosphere. Oops. Sorry. Nobody's going the other way. And off we go. Another sunny day in the tropics. Probably muggy as well. One thing to notice after we moved to Texas is, the rain is lovely when it happens in the middle of a hot summer's day. But then you have, for 3 hours later, while it's all evaporating, it's all going right back into the atmosphere. It's awful. Oh, wrong button. Let's try and engage the autopilot. Alright, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. We've gone past the golf course already, I think. Show off.
Looks like we have a very low ceiling today, so we'll fly at treetop level. We call it nap of the earth flying, or NOE. Always fly higher than 1,500 feet around here, and if you can't, go as low as possible, even over friendly territory. Charlie can be hiding anywhere.
Yeah, alright then. Fine, I'll take over.
Roger, I'll add it to my How to Survive Guam list, which is getting pretty long already. So, what about this Cywar thingy? That man in the back is a local Filipino, and he's with us. He's going to use the loudspeaker to convince the inhabitants of Yona not to shoot at helicopters overflying their village. Every time our choppers are in the area, there's always muzzle flashes in the village, and last week a shithook got hit by a few AK rounds. Shithook? Yeah, that's what we call shithooks.
Yeah, they probably will.
Oh, okay. So this dude's gonna ask them nicely and they'll lay their weapons down. Is that the plan? Yeah, it's batshit crazy.
Yeah.
We do have plan B. Two Phantoms will be on station and they're going to bomb them back to the Stone Age if they don't cooperate.
Fair.
Great. So we're the bait. It's just great.
There is a lovely video out there taken from a couple of Apaches. They're orbiting in Afghanistan or Iraq or somewhere as troops are loading up onto some CH-47s on the ground. And the banter between the pilot and the front seat or back seat or whatever. Apparently they're both considered pilots. You don't have pilot and gunner, as you might expect. It's just absolutely wonderful. I sent it to a friend of mine who was dating a CH-47 pilot at the time. I'll try to remember to find it and put a link to it down below. Well worth it. As for bait, one of the problems that we had in Iraq in a counterinsurgency environment was finding somebody to shoot at. And as the squadron CO said in Afghanistan, the easiest way to find somebody to shoot at is to let them shoot at you. When they shoot at you, hey, found them.
Station is track with 294. We are carrying 65182. Flight time is 40 miles. Over.
40 minutes, that should be enough.
Copy that, Satan. Blackjack 2-1 is 05 from the target. Over.
Are you going to respond? Okay, we'll talk about radio procedure in a moment. So anyway, the problem we had in Iraq was, the theory works if you're in anything except an M1. Because the opposition, well, frankly, they weren't suicidal enough to shoot at M1s. Bradleys they'll take a crack at. M1s, not so much. That meant, I guess in theory I'm supposed to be following the low ground, but okay. That meant that for months and months and months, we'd be patrolling around, putting miles on the tanks, and not doing anything. So we came up with what we called Operation Suicide Bait. And what they'd done was they'd given us a couple of Humvees, 2 Humvees, to just simply to reduce the miles that we were putting on a tank. I mean, it was 2004, so we didn't need a full-on platoon of 4 tanks. Anything that cropped up the section that 2 tanks would probably do. So they gave us 2 Humvees, and we'd run with a platoon of 2 Humvees and 2 tanks. And in order to find the opposition, because we over again that board. And yeah, I know in a war zone boredom is a good thing, but after 4 months of it, you begin to question why you're there in the first place. We came up with this idea that the Humvee has an extremely distinctive headlight configuration. So as you're driving around at night, you know from quite some distance away a Humvee's coming at you. So what we started to do was drive around with the Humvees with the headlights on, and the tanks were maybe a mile, 3/4 of a mile behind in blackout. Opposition decides to shoot at a nice easy Humvee and finds a tank. The catch, because there's always a catch, is that the Humvees we had were in 2004. They were 998s. They were the unarmored type that we had done the hillbilly armor thing to them with sandbags and sheet metal. Or technically, our predecessors had that we took them over from. I think we're here actually. And I mean, the things had so much additional armor that if you looked at the one in front of you, the back wheels were angled inwards at the top simply due to the weight of additional material. I assume that was Tagalog. My bad.
We're taking fire!
Can you shoot
Taking
back at
fire! Shit, we're receiving fire!
I guess that didn't work. Oh, there's another one. Trying to decide what to do. Warn them again or just kill them. Well, I'm a nice guy, and I'm sure the scenario designer probably has some bad things that happen if you don't give them at least a second chance.
Roger, let's warn them again.
So anyway, we have the unarmored Humvees, and so the trick was you just had to survive the first engagement, keep your head down and get out of the area. What we would do is rotate every 2 days. We'd swap. Oh well. We'd swap who was in the tank versus who was in the Humvee. So we'd do that every. Oh, final warning. Okay, fine.
Let's give him a final warning.
Come on, there's a hole in my helo. There's a couple of holes in my helo now. Yep, that's a no. Well, I seem to still have all my indicators, so... Alright, goodbye.
Satan 1, this is Blackjack 2-1, over.
Let me call back this time. Okay, now I have multiple holes in my helicopter.
Go ahead, 2-1.
The amount of spare parts that have to be flown
Satan 1,
in.
we're still receiving sporadic machine gun fire. You're cleared in hot.
Roger, master arm on. Rolling in now. Keep your head down.
I know, over on that one. So, yeah, over and not getting a response is sort of... Okay, there were a couple of pet peeves I have. And one of them is radio procedure, to a point. I mean, I'm not the most disciplined, I have to change that, but at least I follow the rules. And the... what are they? I'll take a risk, go up so I can see. I hear them. Hang on, there we go. Well, that hurt. So a couple of rules with the radio. When you say over, you're expecting a response.
We are on TV at this time.
Oh, out. If you say out, you're not expecting a response.
Poor bastards. Yeah, a few AKs against 2 Phantoms. They didn't stand a chance. Hey, at least we tried, didn't we? Right? We turned the other cheek 3 times. Dumb bastards had it coming. Alright, let's go home. I want to finish learning that song.
But, so, If you hear, there you go, RTB. If you hear over and out, I mean, that's inherently a contradiction. You can't, because you're saying, yeah, I'm waiting for you to respond, and I'm not waiting for you to respond. Additional rule, don't out the CO. It's sort of an unofficial thing, but you're not supposed to. Red 81 is Roger Wilco. There used to be a piece of software, a bit like TeamSpeak, called Roger Wilco. I don't know if it still exists or not. Redundant. Roger is I understood. Wilco is I've understood and will comply with your instruction. And inherently, if you're going to comply with the instruction, that means that you have understood this. So you don't need to say Roger and Wilco at the same time. Radio checks are another one. So you'll hear a radio check. I mean, it's supposed to be 1, this is 2, radio check over. 2, this is 1, Roger over. 2 out. But what you will actually hear is really loud and clear, really licking chicken, 5x5, whatever. Completely unnecessary. The official response is much shorter. Because again, Roger implies I've understood you. So if I've understood you, there is no need to say that I read you loud and clear, because by inherently it's the default position. Now if you can't hear him loud and clear, then you add something like, okay, you're coming across broken but readable or barely readable, whatever your actual status is. Now why is this important? Well, up until recently it hasn't been very important, because the US has had basically dominance in the electronic magnetic spectrum just as much as it has in the air. But that's going away again. So now with the advent of radio triangulation and jamming and whatever else, but mainly signals collection, you're going to see a lot more radio discipline being enforced onto units. Now this is discussed publicly at the Maneuver Warfare Conference there last year. I think there's an article or two in Armor magazine, if you're a subscriber to that. Not exactly classified information here. But basically, you're going to see things like ComSec windows, where you're allowed to transmit when you're not allowed to transmit. You're going to see enforcement of shorter transmissions. So, no media loud and clear when Roger over is shorter, things like that. And it's going to be interesting. And folks like myself that have just gotten used to speaking normally on the radio because we have frequency hopping and didn't care if anybody had triangulation equipment, because they had triangulation equipment. Okay, autopilot, your ship. Ah! Wrong button again. Try it again. Alright. Red. My ship. Okay. And your aircraft. Red. 2316.
Crown, this is Blackjack 2-1 on red, over. 2-1, Roger. Please contact Company HQ on 40.85. They need a helo right now for a VIP mission. Roger, 2-1 out.
And I took over for this co-pilot just in time. And it's to my left. Again, the annoyance of being on the left seat when, in reality, at least the co-pilot could say, yeah, you're almost there, you're almost there. Oh, we're broken? Nope. head for the left of the rainbow. Oh, no, head over the golf course. Pick a point in the distance and go with it. Alright. So again, it's not a question of whether or not the signals will be intercepted in the red. I think we're still pretty good on the frequency hopping and scrambling encryption. But it's simply a matter of your electromagnetic signature telling everybody, hey, here I am. And that's the problem that they're thinking about with, oh, we want drones, we want full motion video being transmitted from, on what bandwidth? A, you don't have the actual bandwidth to physically or electronically transmit everything you want transmitted. And B, you're doing some pretty serious transmitting of your location. There it is.
This is Blackjack 2-1, 2 mics from your facility, over.
Well, not anymore.
Roger that, 2-1. We have a VIP mission for you. General McKenzie here needs a ride to the USS Waddle, where he has a meeting with Admiral Carlson. I wonder if you guys could help him out.
Waddle.
Roger, we'll be there in a minute. Take him to the helipad.
That one of like the Knox class? Well, back then would have been what, Knox, Charles F. Adams? I don't think it was in the game though. Okay, let's try to do this nice and pretty for the general. Oh, he is standing in the rain. Since when do generals stand waiting anywhere in the rain? Oh, that's close. Mental note, don't land in the front right of the path. Where the hell's the ship? Can't home on that. Great.
The General says the USS Waddell is steaming north about 3 miles offshore. They're due southeast from here.
Okay, I can work with that.
Roger, tell them we're on our way.
Fly the General to the USS Waddell. Now there's another piece of nitpicking. You don't use the definite article with a ship name. It's a proper noun, it's a name.
Blizzard 7, 02 from your facility, inbound from the north for landing instructions, over.
Blizzard 7, roger. You're cleared direct to the helipads.
So it is a proper noun, proper name. It's like my name is Nicholas. You don't say I'm going to the Nicholas. Now it can be used for emphasis. What, you're going to the Enterprise? The USS Enterprise? Yeah, that's fine, but unless it's part of the name, like USS the Sullivans.
General's not too happy about flying so low. He demands we climb higher.
That'll be yours.
Tell him it's our SOP. We have to fly at treetop level for safety reasons. The ceiling doesn't allow us to climb above 1,500 feet.
Good lad. And if you don't believe me, go to the US Navy's Style Handbook. And it'll tell you, don't use the with a ship name. Yet everybody does it. So somebody's shooting something.
Sir, the General insists. He says it's an order.
Does he? Agree to fly higher or refuse. Well, I have to fly a little higher. Refuse. Oh, down we go. Oh, hang on, that looks like a ship.
entered this aircraft and I'm responsible for the safety of everyone on board. If I say the safest way to fly is at treetop level, then nobody can question my decision. Not even fucking LBJ. You tell him that.
Oh, someone's shooting at me. VHF. Okay, pilot. Take over your ship. Yes, okay, VHF is... We should have changed that frequency earlier. 1353.
USS Waddell, this is Blackjack 2-1. We are Army UH-1 inbound from the starboard side with code 3,
You
over.
can tell from that distance? That's a starboard?
2-1, be advised, you're inbound from the port side. Starboard means right side. Over.
Well, it's one of
Roger, Don,
them.
whatever you like. We're coming via direct. Get ready. Out.
That's a big ship. Is that like a Scrones, perhaps? I mean, I know that the older ships aren't in the game. I don't know. Tico? So, fortunately, I played the Argo campaign. There's a lot of practice on landing on decks, including one really nasty one where you're in a storm at night. That took that took quite a few approaches. That is a Tico. I can see the spy radar antennas. Okay. Well, I guess if we're gonna have Humvees in 1960 something, you can have a Ticonderoga class cruiser. How's the pad? The upper one with the lights? Well, at least she seems to be going forwards, so... I get a little bit of headwind to help me. Can you point your 5-incher somewhere else, please? Damn, that looks disturbingly close to the superstructure there. Okay, hang on a second. Bushmasters. Are you gonna wave me in or anything? Where are my rotors? Well, you know,
Careful, sir! This way! Hold on to my arm!
that was as good a landing as I have ever done on anything.
What a moron. He didn't even return the salute of the gunners. Okay, let's go back before I get seasick. We're echelon. Pew.
You know, in fairness, I have never encountered a GO who is an idiot. There may have been a case back in the day, but these days in the modern army, every general officer I've met has had a brain. Alright, let's get out of here without going forwards. There's nothing behind me, so okay. Let's leap up and away. Up and away! That's actually kind of cool. Oh, you can see the screws and shafts. Mark 41s, 141s on the back. Yeah, this thing is kitted out to all the modern specifications back in the 1960s. Alright. couldn't he have shot? I mean, he's got a 5-inch gun. Couldn't he have shot at whatever it was they're shooting at me? Okay, so let's set the autopilot again. I play with the radio. .38.6, wasn't it? And time for the music. Alright. This is a rather short playlist. Yeah, I mean, okay. That's, I did well landing on that, but it's when you play in the Argo mission, as I say, the Argo campaign, and you are trying to land on one of those. It's a Perry class. Trying in a storm, it's kind of okay. Yeah, this is even in a sim, so you have to hand it to the guys that do it in real life. Now, granted, you get a healing recovery systems like what is that? Is that the LT? Let me see if they're gone. I don't see anything on the gauges. I've not heard that before, though. What's that? Oh, helos. Yeah, they got like bear trap and harpoon. What's that RASC system they call it? That helps, but still, I mean, I was what, 5 yards? The rotor tips of 5-10 yards from the superstructure. Yeah, okay. Tip of the hat to naval helo pilots. More so, I think, than carrier pilots, because frankly, if you miss a little bit hot forward or low on a carrier, you can just bolt her and go around. But helo, you go forward a little bit too far, you smash into the superstructure. It strikes as being a little bit more critical. Alright, let's go over this a little bit, shall we? Where was I anyway? So I was at the Cobham HQ, went due south, east. So 0 should get me back to Anderson. The repair guys are really gonna hate me. Every window.
Calling all helicopter units. One of our F4s disappeared from the radar near Rhode Island. We need all hands for a search and rescue. Over.
Rhode Island. How's Rhode Island?
Blackjack 3 copies. We're 10 mics out. Over. This is Blackjack 2-1. We're on our way. Okay, let's go to Rhode Island.
Okay, where the hell's Rhode Island? Fly to Rhode Island. How's Rhode Island? Oh, you gotta be kidding. Okay. It's gonna be a long flight. Okay, let's go right. Okay, so where time compression might come in handy. Look to be about 30 degrees, 25 degrees. That's a 10-minute flight. Okay, your ship. And I will relax as we fly over Anderson Air Force Base. And the golf course there on the right. No, that's baseball diamonds. There's a golf course. Can I land and get a different helicopter? I mean, this one's kind of perforated. It looks like from the outside. Aside from the front windows, alright. Okay, so I'm doing 30. Which on this rose from here, there it is. So is there a ruler or a sliding thing I can use on this? Not seeing one. Okay. Well, I know it's here anyway. So 30's that way. Yeah, 25 is probably right. Oops. Sorry. Quoting General Melcher, looking at the map, oh, it's a barren, featureless desert out there. Wrong side, sir. So flying over water is one thing I haven't done. There are two dangerous things that you really should not do if you can avoid them. Well, three if you can't scud running, but that's just idiocy. One is flying in mountains at night, which I've come damn near close to doing, and the other is flying over water at night. Unless you got the right equipment to do it, because you got no frame of reference. You just see black above, black below, and I guess you just keep a damn good eye on your altimeter and attitude indicator. But as I say, I've not had any cause to do it. The mountains I screwed up in timing. So flying from San Francisco to Stead, Reno Stead, where the air races are, and I slightly misjudged the time. So it's dusk. I was going there for an army weekend, so it's I couldn't really leave much earlier. But I slightly misjudged. So it's dusk as they're getting over the last couple of ridges, and it's really starting to get dark very quickly. I have the throttle all the way forward in the hell of cruise economy just to make sure I get over the last ridge line before the night hits. Now the thing about the Sierras is they're pretty tall. And if you look at the aviation section, I see it's in grids, and each grid, each square, has a big number on it that has the height, the height of the tallest item within that square. So if you know what square you're in, but you don't know exactly where you are, you can't see it, you know that if you're higher than whatever the hell that number is, you'll probably be safe. And that's your altimeter setting is for. The catch is that the Sierras being so high, the various squares, that looks like the island there.
This is Ground, on guard. Be advised that the F-4 may have been shot down by an SA-2 according to the wingman. Keep your eyes open when entering the area.
What the hell do I do with that? I bet you haven't been given the chaff. Nope, no chaff.
Rhoda? Damn, how did they get that shit over here? And the public is still buying the story about a few harmless insurgents on the islands?
So the problem is that Sierras is so high that you can't get to the altitude that's described as safe. Well, I mean, technically you can. 172 will get that high, but you need oxygen by regulation. So the alternative is you're just basically weaving between the peaks a little bit. And granted, there's only like 4 or 5 ridges worth, but still. Going over the saddles till you get to the far side. So, I mean, it was the very edge of dusk by the time I cleared the last ridge line. And by the time I landed in Stead, which if you look at a map, Stead to the Sierras is not that far. I was landing in pitch blackness. Now, once you clear the last saddle, I mean, okay, it's general land with lights of the cities and so on. You can see, what the heck. Actually, maybe that wasn't the island. Oh, I think it is. Oh yeah, for some reason I drifted well right. That would have been embarrassing. Okay, let's go back to 20 then, and we'll sort of split the difference. Alright, go that way, please. But anyway, that's one of the lessons. Sort of, somebody said, I can't remember if it was a flight instructor, I don't think it was. Experience is a terrible teacher because it teaches you what you needed to know after you needed to know it. So you had to figure it out to survive. The other, what's that? Is that it? No, I think it's a ship. The other one was if you're flying at night and your engine goes out, and you're supposed to have a flashlight in the cockpit with you when you're flying at night, so you can use it to keep an eye on the instruments. And obviously, the one you're really keeping an eye on is the altimeter. And to say, okay, when you get to about 200 feet above where you think the ground is, turn on the aircraft's landing lights because they obviously run on the battery, and you just didn't want to have them on all the way down in case it took so your battery time. Keep the battery going, just in case. So you're about 200 feet above where you think the ground is, turn on the landing lights.
5 clicks west of the island, on the side of the wreckage here. We're moving a bit over to the east, over.
Must be ahead of us.
Copy that, 3. They should be closer to the island within a few clicks. Roger that.
And if you didn't like what you saw when you turn on the landing lights, turn them off. Okay, I guess I can't argue that. I don't know how the wipers are doing hitting that shattered glass, plexiglass, whatever that is. I don't know what they were made of. Well, obviously it wasn't bulletproof. You know, let's see if we can go a little bit faster here. We're only doing 90 knots. This is a long trip. That's definitely true. I wonder if they've seen anything. Could always ask though. Again, the problem with VR is you can't see what's happening in the real world. Now they are developing paths for VRs, but I'm nowhere near those yet. Okay, I'm going to use time compression at this point because it's getting a bit silly. hoping you don't have to physically spot a guy in the water and that the AI will do it for you. Definitely a ship, looks like a tanker of some sort. Okay, that's the island. Just turn left just a tad here. Again, matching the co-pilot's position. Alright, away we go again. Tank compression can be very handy. Completely unrealistic, but okay. 10 minutes, the guy said? The hell, it was 10 minutes. What sort of rockets did he have on the side of his Huey? Okay, well I see smoke. I wonder if that might be an indicator.
I don't know, man. Flying over open water is giving me the creeps. If we go down here, they'll never find us in this weather.
It's not so bad.
Yeah, I don't like it very much either. Keep an eye on the engine instruments. Hey, why did you sign up for flying helicopters anyways?
I figured I'd be drafted anyway, and I'd much rather sleep in relative comfort and safety than out in the jungle in the mud.
That's a valid point. Well, if you can call our hooches comfortable, or safe, that is. Alright, we're getting close to the island. Look for any debris or patches of oil on the water.
Roger, I'm looking, but it's like looking for a needle in a haystack.
I don't know about that. I'm looking at a really big smoky thing, which I think is supposed to attract our attention. I mean, presumably the pilot's bailed out somewhere nearby, and you know, if we go in that area to look around the water near there, we'll be okay. But I have to say, it's kind of part of the reason that I joined the army was I was originally looking at the Navy, believe it or not, and it occurred to me back in the days when I was playing Harpoon or whatever, what would new Seaman Moran be doing in the Navy? And had images of myself being cold, wet, and miserable, standing watch on the front of a ship in a North Atlantic January storm. And I said, if I was going to be cold, wet, and miserable, at least let me not worry about having to swim to shore. Air Force recruiter never called me back, and I went into army. But part of me didn't go to the full length of the assessment, because after you're done doing your 4 hours or whatever, being cold, wet, and miserable on the ship, you go inside, where you have a heater and electricity and a dry rack, and maybe a warm shower. Whereas in the army, after you've done your 4 hours or whatever of sentry duty, you go into your cold, wet sleeping bag, and you continue to be miserable until it's time to wake up, which of course you can't do because you never fell asleep because you were too cold and miserable. However, as a tanker, you get to sleep on the back deck of the tank. It's much drier and warmer. So reason number whatever for being a tanker and not an infantryman. I'm sure the artillery guys would say the same thing, or the M88 drivers. Set up a bowling alley in an M88. More time compression. Yeah, time compression. Really bloody handy. Where's my fuel anyway? Oh, yeah, loads of fuel. Yeah. He asks as he's gotten as far as he's likely to go. Yeah, dum-de-dum-de-dum. You know, I might just cut and paste, trim this bit in the edit. Okay, welcome back. If I've edited out this long transit, I'm going to guess the F4 went down where the smoke is, so I'm going to ask the pilots around here somewhere. I could maybe call with a radio and say, hey, I'm X many meters, X many miles from the crash site, go in this direction, and assuming he has a radio. How about the wingman? Where did the wingman go? Okay. Can the wingman be a little bit more specific?
We have visual on the crash site. The F4 hit a hillside near the south shore. Looking for the crew now.
Roger that, 2-1.
Now, of course, I got to fly all the way back. That is definitely going to be a time compression thing. Can't say I'm seeing anything. Maybe the wind, maybe he drifted his parachute on the wind. Okay, now what?
Look, there's red smoke. There
Oh.
they are. The crew made it to the shore.
Okay, that works.
This is Blackjack 2-1. We have eyes on the crew. We're going in for pickup.
Hey, Wilson, you guys be careful. Charlie may be waiting in the woods.
Where?
Don't worry, Matt. We can take care of ourselves. Go ahead and head home and put a few beers on ice for us, will ya?
You got it, pal.
I'm supposed to land there in that bit? I'm supposed to land in that tiny little thing there, am I? Oh, hang on. Look, the two blokes there next to the smoke. Where the hell am I supposed to land? Excuse me, birds. Okay, I'm going too fast anyway. Okay, I know where you are. Can you kick the smoke away or something, please?
Hey, those rocks are looking pretty uneven. Let's just hover a few feet above them.
Seems fair to me.
Watch out! There's a truck approaching from the west. Better hurry!
Goody. They do look a little bit uneven, don't they? Watch out for the tail motors that go in. 15 feet. Place where I need to get? Oh. Note to self, don't look at the damn altimeter. How much lower do you want me to get here? Are you in? Ah!
Back on board! Let's go!
Wrong way.
This is Blackjack 2-1. We've got the packs on board. Returning to base. Over.
Excuse me, birdies.
Roger that, 2-1. Good job. Out.
Truck gone from the west. Right. 0. Now included. That's the third time I've gotten that message, mate. Alright. Add a few feet. Just a tad, which in space terms is about 500,000 miles. And I think that'll do us. So turn on the autopilot again. I'm going to start calling you auto. And yeah. Time compression. So again, I'm going to trim the video here, I think, while we fly back, unless something else happens.
Well, another day at the office, Wilson. Yeah, we could always be one of those poor bastards with a stuffy 9-to-5 job. Ain't we lucky?
There's an old advert along the lines that we do more by 8 a.m. than most people do in a whole workday. No, I think the Copilot has a slight right twist. The Irish Army had a recruiting ad there for a while, a life less ordinary. Which is true, it is one of the things that's nice about the military, is that you definitely have a different job. Alright, back to time compression. And again, I'll edit out and we'll come back when something interesting happens. Okay, well, welcome back. Something interesting has happened. I have mail. I'm also off course again. Oh, that's a drift. Let's see what they've written.
My dear Jack, I miss you more than words can describe. I got the picture you sent me with all the guys in your unit. I think you're by far the most handsome. You look so sexy in that uniform. Last week I went over to your parents to help your mother with the chores. They showed me your letters, and we had tea. It's been almost half a year since you've been gone, but I still think about you every day. Love, Sarah.
I bet you by the end of this, it's going to be a Dear John letter at the end of it. I mean, if they're going for the full stereotypical Vietnam experience. Alright, back to time compression. Okay, we've made it back to Guam. So, of course, there's two airfields at the north end. One at Anderson is the one on the left. My co-pilot certainly has a slight drift to the right. Master caution is on for some reason. I don't see why. Maybe it was a low RPM, but I think that set it off though. Okay. That was a hell of a long mission. So if you're still with me, kudos to you. One of the downsides of DCS is you can't do a sort of a casual, oh, I've got half an hour to free, let's fire it up, get half an hour into a mission, then save it and come back and finish the mission later. You gotta do it all at once. Plus, if you balls up at the very end, I mean, imagine I crashed the helo or something during that pickup. Have to do the entire earlier mission again in order to do it. That's a good incentive to not do it. I guess I probably should have radioed in and say, hey, I'm coming back. But no matter. They'll figure it out. Permission to buzz the tower. Where is the tower? Oh, it's on the other side. Very neat of them to stow all the rotor blades forward and aft. I don't know if that's the thing. I guess that's how you tie them around though. Hey, he's still running. Should be running faster. Too fast. Okay, let's slow myself down a bit. Yeah, my leaning left isn't going to help the helicopter. Close enough. Do I get the music?
Hey, thanks for the help, guys.
No.
You saved your asses back there. We got this close to spending the rest of the war at the Manila Hilton. That'll be great if Budweiser headed your way.
Don't mention it, man. Just doing our job.
Well, I'll take the beer. Well, there you go. Very celebratory. Okay, I'm gonna go get a break now. My god, that was long. Oh well, thanks for sticking with us so far, and we'll see you back for Mission 6. After probably a couple of different games. Maybe Combat Mission or Railroader or something.
It's Mustang happening time. Right now, by the 14, nothing quite like it has never happened. He's on a break with the edition Mustang.
Trying to hear if that's actually a transmission I want to hear.
We're down to your Ford dealer right now, and get a great deal on a Mustang Sprint during his big Mustang happening. That's your Ford dealer. Only Mustang.
Why is that going out over the airbase PA?
You could get special deals on all the great 68 Ford.
68 Mustang.
It's a
Oh,
great
fairness, that was a nice car. I think I prefer the Camaros of the era, though. No matter. Alright, later so.